Sometimes car companies experiment with new designs or technology that falls flat. And when that happens, we'll point it out, but there isn't always a subsequent course correction. The latest Volkswagen Tiguan, though, is evidence that Volkswagen is aware that some of its recent moves weren't great, and they're willing to admit it. The Tiguan is typically Volkswagen's best-selling model, and they really don't want to screw it up. Thankfully, they didn't. To give you a quick recap on Volkswagen's interior design misadventures, the GTI went big on capacitive touch interfaces on the steering wheel and dash, and those are hard to use and easy to hit by accident. But behold, the Tiguan has actual buttons on the wheel and a knob for volume. Maybe more importantly, it has dedicated rear window switches, unlike the ID models where you have to toggle the function on one set of switches. Some of the interfaces are still perplexing, like when the dash screen times out when you scroll through too many radio stations at once, but this is a vast improvement over recent Volkswagen interiors. It's also really nice. I've got to admit, I didn't expect to see heated, ventilated massage seats and walnut trim in a Tiguan. On the current Tiguan, which came out for 2025, Volkswagen decided to ditch the option of a third row seat, and that was a good move because, as you can kind of see from looking at the Tiguan, there's not really enough room for a third row. And in fact, on the previous one, they only offered it on front drive models because even just putting a differential and drive shafts in the back, like, nope, now there's no room for that third row. So without a third row, they could optimize for a really nice second row and a decent amount of cargo space behind that. And the outboard seats here are also heated, so you shouldn't get a lot of complaints from the back. There's also decent cargo space, but if you needed more, you could add one of those baskets that goes on the hitch. Speaking of which, the Tiguan can tow, but only a max of 1,800 pounds, which is low for its class. The Toyota RAV4 and Mazda CX-50 can each tow up to 3,500 pounds, and that's a more typical number. All right, this is the 2-liter 4-cylinder, kind of a ubiquitous Volkswagen engine. It's tuned for Tiguan duty. It's optimized for a low-stress environment, you might say, and the best fuel economy possible. It goes into the Miller cycle when it can.
If you want a Tiguan that's a little more in touch with its Golf R side, the SEL R-Line Turbo has 268 horsepower.
Tiguan, let's go. Okay. It's all right, it's all right. It's not supposed to be fast, but just don't go into it expecting because, oh, I saw, the GTI used to have 201 horsepower. It's kind of like a tall GTI now. It says R on it. It says R on it, but that's more of an aesthetic thing. Given its status as the best-selling Volkswagen, I guess people don't need it to be a Golf R. Front drive models are EPA rated as high as 34 miles per gallon on the highway, and all-wheel drive Tiguans are rated at 25 miles per gallon combined. There's an off-road mode, which among other things dials back the anti-lock braking system to allow some lockup, which can be useful when you're going downhill on slippery surfaces. Physical volume knob, which is nice. It also has this touch screen in the middle where it doubles as your mood controller. It sets your mood lighting, and also your drive modes are up here too. So once you access from down here, you can scroll through. The Tiguan doesn't offer hands-free driving assist, but in travel assist mode, it's pretty close. A lot of non-hands-free systems rely on steering input to tell the car that your hands are on the wheel, which sort of results in an ongoing fight between you and your car. The Tiguan uses capacitive sensors in the wheel to detect touch, so you can just rest a hand on the wheel without fighting it. So the nice thing about this is that it allows you to choose between plain old dumb cruise control, adaptive cruise control, and travel assist, which you get cruise control and lane keeping. So, travel assist mode, set. I've got lane keeping and adaptive cruise. It's using radar for keeping distance with the cars in front, and it's using a camera to look at the lanes and keep me centered in the lane. And it works up to 95 miles an hour, which I didn't explore that, but I'll take their word for it. Here, let me get my map over here. Bring that in. I gotta say, the current Tiguan here is just a nice place to spend time. It does everything really inoffensively, I'll say. And believe it or not, that's like a huge compliment because there's a lot of cars that just throw things in your face that are annoying to deal with. There is very minimal annoyance in the Tiguan, except for changing a radio station. Tiguan pricing ranges from the low $30,000 range to the low $40,000s for an R-Line like this one, which comes standard with just about everything except the avocado green paint. That doesn't make it the least expensive car in its class, but Volkswagen's not trying to be the bottom dollar value leader here. In fact, change the badges, and this Tiguan would make a pretty good Audi.